Bloody Mary? Bloody Mary? Bloody? May be one of the most famous urban legends in history. The tale of a ghastly specter who stands behind you in the mirror and slashes your face when you least expect it. You could be shaving in the morning, minding your own business, or maybe just checking out your hair before going out for the night. But when you turn around, she'll be standing right behind you, all pale skin and long flowing hair, and a pair of scissors glinting in her hand. She might even hum a little tune while she does it. And whatever you do, don't look away. Don't turn around. Don't scream. Just stand perfectly still until she finishes her work. Then you can turn around and see what a lovely day it is outside. Haha, just kidding. You won't be seeing any sunshine because now you're re-bleeding to death from the ghastly slashes across your face. But how did we get here? How did Bloody Mary become one of the most infamous figures in horror? After all, there are plenty of scary things that go bump in the night. But few of them involve looking into a mirror and getting an up-close and personal view of your impending doom. Let's unpack this legend. Bloody Mary might be one of the most pervasive urban legends out there, but it has surprisingly few roots in actual folklore. There are a number of ghost stories that feature a woman covered in blood, such as the Italian Anna Lee and the Hungarian Bloody Shoshana, but none of these have anything to do with mirrors. Mary may have been born in the early 20th century, or at least that's when she started rearing her bloody head. No one knows exactly where she came from. There are dozens of different origin stories about Bloody Mary. But since none of them are backed by any evidence, they're more urban legend than fact. One story claims that she was a servant girl who worked in a wealthy household in the 1800s. Her employers were so cruel that they beat her to death with a pair of scissors after accusing her of stealing. Another says she was an Aztec princess who sacrificed her own lover and then dipped her hands in his blood. A third, and perhaps the most popular, says that she murdered her 7 children and then hung herself. But no matter how she became Bloody Mary, according to those stories, her ghost remains trapped in our world, doomed to wander the earth searching for revenge. And if you invite her into your home by asking her name, well, you might just end up being her next victim. If you want to learn more about Bloody Mary, then read on. It's not unusual for people to come across Bloody Mary in the bathroom, but bathrooms aren't the only place you can find her. Some people claim to have seen her in the reflection of a shop window or the windshield of their car, and if you have even reported seeing her dancing in the moonlight or walking along a road in the middle of the night. That is, if you believe them. Many ghost stories tell us that Bloody Mary isn't always as nice as she seems. Sometimes her appearance in the mirror is a warning that some kind of tragedy is about to strike, like the death of a family member or a bad accident. In other stories, she will reach out from the mirror to grab your arm and drag you inside. And if you listen closely, you might hear her whispering your name over and over again. But why is she doing all of this? What is Bloody Mary's endgame? Well, it depends on the version you ask. Sometimes she just likes to scare people. Other times she wants revenge for the way she died. And sometimes she lures people into the mirror to trap them forever. Either way, though, it's generally best to run away from her as fast as you can. So is Bloody Mary really out to get you? Well, probably not unless you invite her in. For centuries, people have been experimenting with ways to contact the dead, and many cultures have rituals for communicating with ghosts. But summoning ghosts is dangerous business. Even the smallest mistake could allow an evil spirit to take control of your life. In modern times, people often try to summon ghosts using a mirror, and Bloody Mary is the most famous example. But be careful. If you repeat her name 3 times, she might just show up behind you and say hello. That means turning away from the mirror. Whatever you do, don't scream. You might just invite more demons into your bathroom. But if you do need to turn around, then take a deep breath and get ready for anything. When you finally take a peek back at the mirror, you might be surprised to find that it's completely empty. Or maybe you'll see something else. Maybe you'll see your own face contorted into a horrifying mask of flesh and bone. Or maybe you'll see another face staring back at you, a face that's been slashed to pieces by sharp claws or teeth. When facing the mirror, you should never turn your back on the mirror. Even if you don't see anything in it, don't do it. Whatever you do, don't turn around. Because if you do, you're inviting Bloody Mary into your life. And once she steps through the mirror, she won't leave. She'll be standing right behind you, and then it'll be too late. Some people say that the key to avoiding Bloody Mary is to fight back. If you show her that you're not afraid, she might just think you're not worth her time and disappear in a huff. So before you call her name, get ready for action. Have some holy water handy or a Bible to ward off evil spirits. And whatever you do, don't turn around. Because if you do, Bloody Mary will be waiting for you. But if you want to know more about Bloody Mary, then keep reading. But remember, knowledge is power. And once you know her secrets, you might not want to summon her anymore. There are lots of different ways to summon Bloody Mary, but the most popular involves turning off all of the lights in your bathroom, staring directly at the mirror, and saying her name 3 times. But be careful. If you're not careful, she could come right out of the mirror and attack you. It also helps to have a plan in place before you start reading ghosts. If you feel anything brushing against your body, immediately stop the ritual and get out of the bathroom. And if you see anything behind you in the mirror, don't turn around to check. Just keep reading ghosts. If you feel like something is touching you, you might want to break off the ritual and leave the bathroom. But if you see something behind you in the mirror, you shouldn't turn around to check. Instead, you should keep reading ghosts. If you decide to summon Bloody Mary, you should be prepared for anything. She might appear in the mirror as a tall, thin woman wearing a Victorian nightgown. Or maybe you'll see her standing behind you in the corner of the room. Whatever you do, don't turn around. Don't move at all. Just stay perfectly still until she finishes speaking. If you follow these rules, she might just tell you what she wants. And if you agree, she'll vanish and leave you alone. But if you refuse, she'll probably attack. So before you summon Bloody Mary, make sure you know what you're getting into, because once you do, there's no turning back. We've told you some terrifying stories about Bloody Mary, but we haven't told you the worst one yet. Stay tuned for more information. As you probably already know, Bloody Mary is a ghost who lives in the mirror. She usually appears as a pale woman wearing a nightgown and holding a pair of scissors. And if you meet her in the bathroom, she might just decide to cut up your face. But did you know that Bloody Mary isn't the only ghost who haunts mirrors? There are dozens of other spirits out there who use mirrors to lure unsuspecting victims into their grasp. And they're just as terrifying as Bloody Mary. For example, there's the ghost of a little girl who appears in the mirror and then reaches out to touch your face. Or maybe you'll see the reflection of a man standing behind you, even though you know there's no one there. And if you look away for just a second, he might just step out of the mirror and attack you. Well, there's only one way to find out. Turn off all the lights in your bathroom. Stare directly into the mirror and say her name 3 times. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody. Okay, maybe don't do that. We'd hate for you to get hurt, but if you're still curious, then read on. Bloody Mary might be a ghost, but that doesn't mean she's not real. In fact, many people claim to have seen her and live to tell the tale. One person wrote on Reddit that she was babysitting one night when she heard someone calling her name. She turned around and saw a woman standing in the mirror holding a pair of scissors. The woman lunged at her, but the glass shattered, and she ran away. Another person wrote that they were shaving one morning when they heard footsteps behind them. They turned around and saw a woman in a nightgown standing in the bathroom. She reached out to touch them, but then she vanished. But if these stories are true, then Bloody Mary might not be a figment of our imagination. She might be a real ghost who's out to get us. So if you ever find yourself alone in a bathroom, better Google her first.